Olla. Give me your first full name. Olla.
Olla.
Ruth, isn't it?
Olla Geneva Lott.
Geneva Lott, but your maiden name was Mears. And your father was?
Edgar Mears.
Edgar Mears. Okay, we got that identified. You and your husband are the owners of?
Hoover Mill, but it's my husband and my son-in-law and me and my daughter.
Okay, the four of you. Now, you were telling me that you do grinding?
We do all the Hoover grinding. We own the label for that, and we also grind stone ground meal for Dixie Lily.
Okay, they went bottom up, and your husband did what?
Another company bought them, and that company solicited us to do their grinding.
Okay, but your husband, didn't you say he worked for Dixie Lily?
He retired from Dixie Lily after 33 years.
33 years, so you knew his stuff before you ever went into this business. That's wonderful. Now I'm going to scan right behind you here, and this will give us, my daughter and her husband wanted so badly to see this, and since they're traveling right now, they're in Troy, Alabama, and they couldn't be here, I'm going to do this for her, okay? Just as racks and stacks of Dixie Lily.
That's Dixie Lily. This is Hoover.
Okay, Hoover. My goodness gracious. So when we called you and found you, and you had bought the grinding stones from the gentleman in Kentucky, and I found you, and then we discovered that you were related. I already had you on the database from the first Mears reunion that we went to.
That's correct.
Oh my goodness, you do the seafood bladder?
For Dixie Lily.
Oh my goodness, I buy that at the store all the time. Hi fellas. This is wonderful, wonderful.
If you want to, let's start at the back where we actually clean it and work up to this point.
That's great. Sounds great. Oh my word.
Yeah, it's warmer in here because this is not air.
Now, what are these containers here? Well, you'll
These
explain
are the
it,
rocks that actually do the grinding.
Are they the ones you got from the van in Kentucky then?
Yeah, we got these, there's 6 of these stones that are the original stones from Hoover, and they belong to another milling company. They come across the ship over the ocean. Someone else owned them, and the Hoovers bought them from them. And then Kentucky, the Hopkinsville milling company in Kentucky bought them from the Hoovers, and then we bought them from Hopkinsville Milling. And I'll start you at the front.
Oh my goodness. Was this your husband's idea to start this business or yours?
Yes. This is the cleaning rack.
Hold on just one second.
So that cleaner. Okay, the cleaner, that's the cleaner that actually cleans the corn. That cleaner was made in the 19 something. I don't remember if it was 1929 or 1922. I don't remember. But that was originally built. The wood and everything was built in the early 1900s. We bought that. This whole stuff is modernized, though. This is we added to it. And this is actually the cleaning room. He's in the process of cleaning corn from the grain in there.
Oh my goodness.
And it goes into a holding tank out front.
Goes into a holding tank out front. That's the big granary. Okay. Wonderful.
Okay. Then the corn goes from the cleaning tank through these things here.
To those, what?
That trough up there.
Oh,
and
the
then
trough.
it goes down to
Let me see the trough. What are we talking about?
this metal thing.
Oh, the metal deal.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. This
Right.
container right here. Okay, and that's
now-
coming down these.
Right. It's coming down here and it feeds into these rocks.
Feeds into the rocks.
With these arms.
Evenly. In other words, all these.
You have to set it according to the grind. If you're wanting fine, you have to slow up the amount of corn that's fed into the rocks. Okay, medium, you can speed it up more. You get your coarser thing, plus you raise your rocks up some. The more
You
your
have to
rocks go
physically
down,
go in and raise these by
Yes,
by
these
what?
right
These.
here.
Okay, that device. That, and you have to do those prior to the feed coming through. The corn comes.
depending on what type of grind you want, fine, medium, coarse, whatever you want, you adjust this so the rocks compress or go away.
Wonderful. Okay, terrific.
It's fed into here, goes down here, and this is what the government started back during the Depression. You put your enrichment. Because back during the Depression, the people wasn't getting the vitamins and stuff, and the government, remember, said you got to put enrichment in the food for their vitamins.
Right.
This little thing right here is where your enrichment is added. Then it goes up to this here sifter. Okay, that sifter shakes it.
Evenly distributes the addition.
It shakes it, and anything that's not fine, that the rocks didn't get fine enough, stays on the screen in the mixer, and every day it's emptied and cleaned. And In other words, if a big piece of corn happens to get through that's not brown, that sifter's going to catch it. Okay, because it has a fine mesh screen, very fine mesh screen. There's 5 screens in that sifter. That it comes down, it shakes it, and it goes through levels of screen. And then it is fed from there in there to the packet room.
Okay, the packing room now is where we just passed through a moment ago. That's the one that's air conditioned.
I was going to show you some rocks. I don't know. We don't have any. I was hoping we had some rocks out here.
Are you saying rocks or blocks?
Rocks.
Rocks.
Actually, I was going to show you what the rocks actually look like.
Oh, the grinding stones, stones, is that what you're referring to as rocks?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, okay. Oh, I see it out there, that round, big round thing.
That is not
Buddy, you want to
usable.
stay there, or do you feel like walking? Okay, he's
These
okay.
are some that's not usable. We've got some in storage that is usable. These are some that we're going to make fountains out of. And out front. And
right now, when Lester Mears and Betsy, we stayed with them overnight at their house, beautiful home, and he took us over to the old mill place, and he said that Mr. Hoover had a park out there. Did you ever see the park that he made that was so beautifully landscaped? And did you see any of that?
These are okay. This right here is your bedrock.
Bedrock.
Okay.
All right.
This one, see how thick, and it's got the metal band on it. These are not usable. They're cracked, or either a part in here is gone. But we're going to use them for decorations. My daughter went on the internet and found some things. We're going to have Hoover burn into it, and then we're going to make a water fountain out of some. We found some other. And this is your top rock. These two go together, and see the grooves. Now, if these were actually working, this would be rough. The guy that was in there that was a supervisor, he's been working at Hoover Mill since he was a teenager, okay? And he knows how to sharpen these rocks. There is a certain sharpener, and it's got different levels that goes on the head of it. And you drill in here, and it makes it rough. It's real rough. It's not smooth. And then this rock goes and sits on top of it, and that wheel I showed you applies the pressure to the rock to get your find or your thing. Now, this is the bedrock, and this is the top rock.
Bedrock and top rock. Okay. Interesting. Very interesting. I would have never.
See, these little tracks here. If this rock, if something's wrong with it, I don't remember what's wrong with this one or what's wrong. But some of them's got bad parts in it. And one of them, it must be upside down there, is actually cracked. These are deeper. But if this one was usable, if it was mechanical, this right here would be chiseled out deeper, these little ruts, and then this is rough. And what it is, when it grinds the corn, these little things right there, there's a vacuum there. Since we're not running, you can't hear it, but those pipes where the mill actually comes down, there's a vacuum there that pulls that mill out. These wheels are continuously turning, and the vacuum pulls this mill out.
Those grooves.
And it goes out.
Who in the world?
But they would be more raised.
Oh, amazing. Amazing. This is so interesting. Wow. Okay, Olla. Buddy, why don't you walk up there with her, and then I can get pictures of you guys walking together. You two cousins.
You may not want me filmed with me now.
Oh, yeah, he does too. When we discovered Olla and her husband James Lott, it was through trying to locate cornmeal, Hoover cornmeal, from a woman that had mentioned that she used to buy Hoover cornmeal in Lafayette, Georgia. And she's a member of the First Baptist Church there, and we knew her from there. And also I had joined the Lafayette Women's Club in Lafayette, and she is very much a member of the Women's Club in Lafayette, and also on a state level, she's in charge of a district of the Lafayette, of the Georgia Federation of Women's Clubs. And now we're going to go back to Olla.
They're selling from their routes, and they finally just give it up because his daughter-in-law was not able to run enough meals to keep it. But when these were running, I didn't show y'all this, and I probably should have. When these were running, okay, that meal, there's two rocks in here. Remember, there's a bottom rock and a top rock.
Top rock,
okay. And there's this vacuum, there's a vacuum and the meal comes down in this and pulls it with these pipes, pulls it there, then Richmond goes in and it goes up to the sifter.
Okay.
I used to go when that mill was running. I'd go stick my hand on them and get a handful of meal.
My husband laughs at me because, see, most people test meal like this. Well, I've had surgeries on my wrist, so I can't test and get true to feeling because my fingers don't feel that fine. So I can feel a little bit, but the way I really do is I put it in my mouth. And if it's gritty, I know it's not extra fine meal. I know it's not fine meal, and I don't want it. But now we do run medium, but I know medium's okay. I know what kind of grit it's supposed to have, but fine, I know what I'm looking for. But my mouth is really my taste, my sensor. Where the guy that was in there in the cleaning room, he's our miller, he can actually feel like this. But I like to put it in my mouth.
Buddy's mother always bought the fine, and she put salt in it and hot water, and that was it, and just fried it in
That's exactly the way we do it.
Oh my goodness, it was good. And she always made, she didn't make the donut hole in it, but one of the other ones, one of the other relatives does it, makes them like a little donut, puts the hole in the middle.
Now I do that when I cook it in turnips for corn dodgers.
Okay, all right.
I put the hole in it so the water can boil up through it so it's not raw in the center.
Oh, and you put it in the turnip greens. That sounds wonderful. Well, I'm going to be growing turnips in the fall of the year. Right now we've got everything else planted in our garden. Okay, now here we are.
This is where it comes in. This is where they actually bag it. That's what they were doing a while ago. They put, and it weighs out, and then they verify the scales on it.
They verify what now, I'm sorry?
The weight on it with the
weight.
scales.
Okay.
It's supposed to, we got one that's not accurately right there, but it weighs it, it shuts it off, it feels, sort of adjusts it, and you have to adjust them according to the bag size right there. This one is adjusted 24 ounce. You drop it down these holes with 5 pounds, and stuff like that. And then they weigh it, double check it, and this is where the ring time, y'all saw ring time.
On this is ring, this is where the ring comes
tie.
out. Ring tight, okay, it falls through there, all right. And these guys are...
And I will tell you, this is Barry, that's Sheila, this is Tanya.
Sheila.
This is Kyle, and this is my pet.
Your what?
No, really, no.
Her pet? You have pet employees?
Pets.
Oh, pets, I thought you said pet.
No, I call him my pet. No, he don't, I pick on him all the time. He's gonna kick me when y'all
Well, my husband is related to Miss Olla here through the Mears lineage. That was her maiden name. And so we found out, we were trying to get...
She's making a film on it.
Yeah, this is going to be historical right here, the two cousins. All right, nice meeting you all.
Nice meeting y'all.
Okay, and then after it's done there, then you stack it over here and shrink wrap it, I guess. Oh,
They
this
shrink wrap and they stack it there and then they bring it in here and they shrink wrap. We usually don't shrink wrap it until just before we load it because of the heat, the sweating, you know, and so we'll shrink it. Because these things right here, these bags have air holes in them, so it allows them to get air. But if you shrink wrap it, then it can't breathe.
Breathe. Interesting. Interesting. Okay. And then, what is this right here now? Is this another brand that you're...
That's a brand of Dixie Lilies.
Oh, a brand. Okay, I don't see that.
Self-rising.
I don't see that in the stores.
Yeah.
Is that local that you... Where all do you send this to?
Well, we go as far as Statesburg, Swainsburg, Valdosta.
Up to Atlanta at all?
No,
no. Just South Georgia. Okay, that's the reason I haven't seen it then. Arnett cornmeal, but it's still coming out of the same mill.
Some of this stuff is warehoused by some of your Winn-Dixies, your Independents, Piggly Wigglies and all that. They warehouse some of the Dixie Lily products up in, they warehouse the Winn-Dixies and some of the Independents. AG, Associated Grocers, Dixie Lily sells it to them.
Okay. Now, do you alter anything in the cornmeal at all as far as, do they specify how they want things done other than the packaging and the label?
Yeah, you have a recipe to go for by each product. If it's self-rising seafood, hush puppy. But as far as your plain meal, like this one here is just plain stone ground. Medium, it's just corn ground. Just
And
like
that's
Hoover.
medium, whether you
Right,
have a
right.
label, Hoover label, or Winn-Dixie here.
Well, now, their medium is coarser than our medium.
Oh, okay.
It depends on what their preference is for their company.
Gotcha.
Theirs was a coarser grind than Hoover's medium. Their Hush Puppy mix is different than our Hush Puppy mix.
Which is better? I won't record that. Okay, don't answer that question. You might intimidate yourself. Oh, that's funny.
But we sell also their peas, beans, and rice. We distribute those on our trucks. We have 4 trucks on the road.
And where do you package that, or do they package?
They package that and they send it in to us, the
Oh,
peas and
okay.
beans and rice.
Peas and rice, so that's decent. Now, JT Pollard, that's another one?
That's another company. He's in Hartford, Alabama. We sell his products. We're his
My
distributor.
goodness. Oh my gosh. Distributor now or manufacturer?
No, we don't manufacture.
You do not
Only
make his corn.
manufacture Dixie Lily and Hoover. JT Pollard does his own grinding.
Oh, okay.
But we do all the Walmarts and Winn-Dixies and all for him. He does not have a vendor's permit to do them.
Okay.
And so we do those. He does independents. He's got one truck on the road that he does independents
I
with.
see. Now let me ask you one final question here. What's your recipe for cornbread that's your favorite recipe, and what do you use?
Cornmeal, salt, hot water.
That's it.
Stir it up.
Same thing as Buddy's mother, and
Yeah.
no hole in the middle,
No hole.
because that's
The hole in the middle, the only time I put a hole in the middle, I just pone it out, and it depends if you want it crispy or not, is how flat you make it.
that's what he likes it. He likes
The
it
flatter
crispy.
you make it, crisper it's gonna be.
All right.
You can also put it on a iron skillet
Uh-huh.
with a little bit of grease,
What kind of grease?
any kind you want.
Hog lard or
It don't
Crisco?
matter. It don't.
Doesn't matter.
Right. Well, we use Crisco at my home.
Crisco,
but
okay.
Any kind. Back when I was growing up, we used the Hoover, but we used hog lard because that's what we had. But now you can put it on an iron skillet, put a little bit of grease on there, pat it out, and they call it hoe cake cornbread.
Okay, grandmother called it pone bread.
Pone bread. Well, what we call pone bread is when you make it up like I do for frying, only you make it in a big pone like this, so big around,
Okay, all right.
and ever how thick you want it, put it in the oven, bake it. That's what we
Oh,
used to call
cornbread.
pone.
Now, okay, she also would put it in a skillet, get the skillet hot in the oven with the lard in it, or grease, or Crisco, and once that grease was almost, it wasn't burning, but it was really hot, then she would take that out, and then she would put her pone bread, or her same recipe, the meal and the salt and the water, and she'd put it in there and bake it.
Right. That's exactly the way I do crackling cornbread. I use the
Crackling
Hoover fine meal, salt, and I put my cracklings in it. I got my skillet in the oven, getting the bottom of the skillet hot, and then the whole batter goes into one lump thing, and it's smooth out. It's one whole, and then when it gets done, it's crispy because you got the grease in there and it was hot, and it bakes crispy on the outer edges, and then I just cut it just like you do a pie or a cake or
Now,
whatever.
I remember when that grease would get hot, when she put that pone bread
It
in
would
there.
fry.
But she would also, she didn't turn it, but she would take a spoon and dribble that hot grease
Grease on
from
the
the sides up on the top to help it brown good.
Brown and be crispy.
Crispy on top. Yeah, we got it, but it's documented. We got your mother's recipe. My daughter's gonna love this.
No, it's
And that-
I guess it's passed down from what you're talking about. The hole in it. The only time I ever put a hole in it is when I cook it, like I said, with the turnips. And I'll just get a little small thing, work it up, pat it out, and then take my finger and put a hole in it. And the turnips has to be almost done or totally done. Drop it in while they're boiling though, so it hardens it real quick. So if you don't, it's going to sit in there and float. If it's not boiling, they come all to pieces. And it'll stay on a thing, and then it cooks good, and it makes up what my brother that passed away called pot liquor.
Pot liquor, all right. That's the pot liquor recipe. Okay, wonderful. Oh, all of this is one.
Do
This is
that, I was told we juice from the greens and make it like cereal.
Yeah.
in other words, you're saying take the pot liquor and then put it in a bowl and then crack, or did you tear up the pone bread and put it in there? What your
Yeah,
mother
we did
called
that
pone bread?
too, yeah.
And make it like a
Yeah.
like a cereal root. Oh, that's okay.
That's
Or you
we
could-
call pot liquor too.
Or
Okay.
you
You
can
know?
do it with milk.
Oh, okay. Now, when you're talking about cooking turnips, are you cooking the root with the greens?
Sometimes, if they got roots, I definitely want roots in it. But I do,
Which one,
I
the
like,
purple top or the white top or what?
I like the white egg turnips. I like the white turnips.
White turnips.
I was raised on the purple top. They're good, but the white eggs and the white turnips, they have a sweeter type, and they don't get bitter as quick in the warm weather. You can grow them a lot longer out without them becoming bitter.
Fantastic.
But my brother said he'd never eat a bitter turnip.
He never ate a bitter turnip, that's good.
But he loved it. But you would say these are too strong, we need to plow them up. Back I remember when we was kids and everything, and even after we got grown, and we'd buy some of us say these are a little bit bitter. He said, I've never eat a bitter turnip. So it's all on preference. Really.
Okay, great. Oh, awesome. Okay, I want to get a picture of your daughter if she hadn't gone home yet, and introduce her to my daughter. Miss Stacy, we're filming your star. Think of yourself as the new American Idol. Can you sing or perform? Do you sing?
No, ma'am,
You don't?
at all. I
Well,
have no talents.
No talent. You must have some talent. You're sitting here at the computer. You got to be able to do that. Guess what? My husband I better not say what my husband just bought me on here. But turn off the recorder. I don't want to do it. But anyway, he just bought me a new laptop, and I'll tell you in just a second what it is. But all right, give me your full name, Miss Stacy.
Stacy Carol Lott Dudley.
Carol Lott. Dudley? If I got that, did I have that on the database as far as your married name?
I
not
think
sure.
still pay Carter.
Okay, be sure we get updated on that before I walk out the door, okay?
Okay.
Loved your mom's tour, very descriptive, and someday, when you see this and your mother goes to the Lord before you get there, you're gonna cherish this video that I'm making right now, okay? This
I
will be
will.
something that will be cherished. She's even got her recipe for how to make pot liquor, which is the turnip greens. Well, she might know it, but she needs to teach her children how to do it, and this movie will do it. Okay, nice meeting you, Stacy.
Nice meeting you. Thank you.
We're starting this